kind of cool.
Well, hello everybody. Hi everybody. We're going to go live straight away to OpenEd 17, where we're taking part in a speed dating session. I am your speed date. We also have Dave Cormier here, but he will introduce himself. But as we go along, we're going to be introducing ourselves several times. Probably we'll try not to bore you when we do it. Okay, over to you, Ken.
Wait a second. We got Rolin speaking on a microphone.
For people who are not able to attend the conference here to participate remotely. And so this is the first time we have ever done a networking session like this with virtually connecting. So there are people around the world who you will be able to meet well through virtually connecting. We want to keep
All right, cool. Yeah, if you want to join us, we have Dave Cormier here, and we have Mandy here as well. Mandy Honeyman's here.
All over the world means PEI, and where's Mandy?
Where's Mandy?
I'm sat in my office in Washington State.
So not quite all over the world just yet.
Not quite, but I've got an English accent.
All over Turtle Island.
Excellent.
So that'll do.
So the idea here, on-site as well as virtual, that people spend about a minute saying why open's important to them. So who should we start with? How about Terry?
Open. Why is it important to me?
We could do this. Can you make sure you can hear?
Open is important to me for a whole minute? Oh my God, that's a lot of time.
You can use less, you can use more.
Well, it leads. Yeah. Okay. Yes. Thank you. My name is Terry Green. I am a program manager at eCampus Ontario, where we evangelize and promote and fund and do stuff with open educational resources and practices. So it's important to me because that's what we do, and I wouldn't meet all these people and I wouldn't be here without it. So it rises the tide for all of us, I think.
All right. I'll go next since I'm next to Terry. So I'm Ken Bauer, faculty at the Computer Science Department in Tec de Monterrey in Mexico. And open's for me because it's much more about my practices of being open, of what I do, how I work with my students, sharing that so other colleagues can see what we're doing, and being an example of those open practices for my students is really what is the core of my open practices. So that's why I want to be open. Switch over here to
Hi, I'm Steve Phillips from Thomas Edison State University. I'm the Associate Director of our Center for the Assessment of Learning. And open is important to me because we primarily deal with adult students, and a lot of times we'll have students come to us that have some knowledge, some experience, but not necessarily 3 credits worth. So by using open resources and by using the greater availability of the networks that you can build with open educational resources, we can get students to where they need to be so they can get to a credential faster, quicker, and less of an expense.
Yeah, I should have brought the lazy Susan. I know.
I'm Joni Feldman from Lumen Learning, and open's important to me because it's the basis of all our work that we do. We had a group of students here yesterday at the keynote that were talking about everything they've gotten from open and their situations, and not open, but they were talking about open, they just didn't know they were talking about open, I think, but how much they've really learned and they've been able to get because of the beautiful thing I thought is they kept saying, my teacher did this, that they knew that people cared about them. So I think us enabling educators to really care more about their students by making it easier and more beneficial for the students is so important.
Hi, I'm Jeff Gallant. I'm from Affordable Learning, Georgia. We've been working in the state to get as much OER adoption as possible, and as a result, we've had a ton of remixing and creation that have come out of our grant projects too. Open is especially important to me because as someone who's working within the state of Georgia, educational equity is sometimes really hard to come by, and anything that we could do, any small part to level the playing field in the classroom is really going to help a ton of Georgians. And working for the USG, we always work towards a more educated Georgia, and that has to be everybody. Open education can get us there.
Hold on, I'm going to shift you around 1 second. go to Tom.
Oh goodness, I'm up next. Hi, my name is Tom Evans with Ohio State University. I work in the area of open learning, and I do a lot of work with faculty development and kind of helping reshape perceptions of OER, its uses, and just sharing out possible opportunities that might not be evident like immediately outside of some of the obvious ones that we might be working with our students. That said, one of the big reasons why I'm here is to kind of lean off of other people and to learn some additional strategies to help with faculty development and faculty perceptions, reshaping how they approach that and what they think.
Cool, thank you, Tom. So I'm going to move you a little so everybody can see our virtuals.
Dave, do you want to go next?
Go ahead, Dave.
Okay, I'll go next. Shall I go next? Okay, so I'm Mandy Honeyman, and I'm sitting in my office. And opens philosophically is important to me because I think I started out from an open source perspective, and it was open source that then took me into education. And as soon as I found myself in education, I was desperate to be able to use resources with my students, and I had no money. My school had no money, and so I needed open resources that I could find in order to be able to help my students learn. So that was mine.
Cool. Dave is trying to connect. I'm walking around his house.
Okay.
I'm doing my best here.
Awesome.
Oh, we hear you.
We got you, Dave.
We hear you.
Aha.
Why is open?
So you get me twice. So open is important to me because it is the thing that allows us to have classrooms that make sense. So for me, openness in terms of the resources is important. Openness in terms of opening the doors to allow more people in is important. But openness in the sense of allowing our students to actually do things that are beyond what we are capable of doing. Open to what they have to come into the classroom. Open to who they are as people. Open to the classroom going off in unexpected places. Open to opening ourselves up to the rest of the world. Those are the kinds of open and open education that mean everything to me.
Okay, you heard it fine here. Could you hear it in the conference room?
I'm just noticing people are coming in that don't know what's going on. Hold on, Dave. We got Rolin on the microphone.
Everybody can fill in the table close to one another. That way we're not going off to.
Okay, we're back. Rolin and Mandy. It was Rolin was on the microphone, so it was kind of noisy here.
I just wanted to make sure that you were able to hear what Dave had to say.
Oh yeah, we did. We got the microphone well here, so we could hear. I wanted to make sure he realized we couldn't hear him well with the microphone here. Oh, someone jumped in. Oh, is it Dave in 3 versions now? That's so. I'm excited to see Dave and his doppelganger go through this. So I wanted to thank you for being a part of this. This is a unique opportunity, and I'm super stoked that we're doing it through Virtually Connecting. So thank you for setting this up and being a part of it. This is a chance to kind of, the community's grown so much just in the last 2 years, much less 5 or 10. So where are the opportunities to meet the people that we kind of take for granted and kind of assume, well, we all know one another, and have those opportunities to connect with people that are new in this field, who are just getting started, and forge relationships and learn alongside one another. So thank you for being a part of this today. Cool.
Well, and for me from the other side, it's really great to be here because I go through cycles in my career where I end up being able to go out to these things in places where I'm not. This allows me to keep connected to this community as my career continues in its weird arc that it's on now. And I'm coming back to open again from a government perspective now. So this again becomes a conversation that's relevant for my day job. And of course, it's been part of my professional life for, I don't know, 15 years now.
Thank you, Dan. All right, unfortunately, I have to work, but I would love to chat.
Goodbye, Rolin.
So what else do we have? We're going to do a switch. We're gonna switch out people between tables.
Okay, I thought that was going to happen next. So, Dave, I hope you've got a second, at least another thing to say.
You clearly don't know who I am. I always.
That's fine. That's fine.
I never shut up. Never ever shut up.
Excellent.
We love you for that, Dave.
It was very
nice to say so.
It was very nice to see this table. I have to say that it was fun to see a couple of faces that I met a couple of years ago, actually in Toronto. So that was fun too.
Turn down your volume so they can hear you rolling.
So I can talk for the video. I think that they're just getting their next sets of instructions, so we'll just hang on and wait until we know what they're doing. So a little few pauses. I think Ken has turned down the volume on the speaker, so Dave and I can talk if we wanted to, in order to keep things going a little bit. Have you been to these conferences before, Dave?
Yeah, I was at Open Ed 09, 08, maybe. And I know an awful lot of these people, so I've worked with a few of them for a fair amount of years. Ken, I bothered before.
This feels like a first for Virtually Connecting being actually part of the session.
Yeah, it's neat.
It's kind of fun.
Yeah, for sure.
What do I want to learn? I want to listen to conversation. I want to see what's going on. And we're just talking between ourselves, don't worry.
No, that's good.
Yeah.
I'm worried that you're feeling excluded.
No, we get it.
No, we're fine. We were just saying how cool it was.
So the last time
They're about to switch now.
Okay.
Oh, cool.
Okay.
Tell Rolin he's talking too much.
Caulfield's right there.
Oh, no.
Yeah, no.
That guy.
It's a bomb. Thank you so much. Thanks. No. Oh, we got ahead.
We need to go a bit slower next time.
I think we jumped the gun and we did a session before the other people did.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. Well, we could do it.
Keeners.
No, well, let's not. I've only got 3 different ideas there.
So we can continue the conversation here, because some people were thinking it would be boring if you had the same conversation in the onlines. But I think when we listen to each other talk, we change some ideas. We want to have a conversation. Besides that, just 1 minute or 30 seconds each.
I think also.
I'll wait for Rolin to shut up so we can hear each other.
Ken, I think the other
Get it out. It's like, I was going to say something.
I just think that the other thing we can ask questions of the person who's talking. We don't have to stay silent.
Yeah. Yeah. You guys can continue your conversation, so don't worry about it.
It seems as though the Open Ed 17 has a slightly different flavor to it than the one that I went to in Toronto, because I was looking at the schedule for the first time because I just hadn't got around to it, and I noticed all these tables. It's all about discussion. It seems to be all about talking rather than all about presenting.
It goes in phases. I mean, I remember years ago it was mostly an unconference. It was mostly people wandering around, and then it got really focused on what I think of as the OER side of this, where we have this research that tells us the statistics of the thing. And now I'm seeing that sort of more idealistic side of it coming back, where people are talking about open for openness sake, rather than openness for how are we going to make the business model.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And those are both valid approaches. I think we're moving back and forth.
Well, it's good to know about it all. It's just if one takes over from the other, then it becomes, it doesn't work anymore.
I think so too. What do you do wherever you happen to be, Mandy?
Well, me, I'm looking for opportunities at the moment. I was building this house that I'm now sitting in, So, investing in it. It's warm. It doesn't leak. Sorry, silly, but anyway, I'm quite. Is everyone staying at the table, staying quiet because of us, or is everyone staying?
No, we were listening in. It was wonderful just listening into the conversation. I don't know. Jump in, anyone, if you want to have a go.
I would love to know how you guys are feeling about the structure of this conference now. It seems really different.
What do you want to do? Turn it
I want the lower third.
It has the lower thirds. What are you doing? Don't push buttons. Dude.
Sorry.
It has the lower thirds. That's.
Sorry.
I had it up there. Oh, I didn't have it, but oh well.
Don't worry.
Continue. Don't push buttons. I blew up the session last time.
I just pushed Ken's buttons.
Yeah.
Don't push his buttons because it will trigger him. So my question was.
The last one.
My question was, so are you enjoying the different feel to this particular conference structure?
The different feel to the different conference structure. How are you enjoying that? Okay.
Well, for me, I've missed the last two, so it's been a while since I've been to Open Ed, and it's amazing just how much bigger it's gotten. I think it's doubled in size over the last 2 years, and so that presents, I think, sort of I'm really glad that we're doing this kind of like networking session, because the first day I felt really overwhelmed by the number of people here, and it was difficult to actually talk to all the people that I knew. Yeah.
I have a question for the table.
Yeah, go ahead.
How many of you are here to learn new things, and how many of you are here to recharge whatever open journey you're on?
I think I've talked to you about this before, Dave, where I've been more on the open pedagogy side, but I'm really kind of focusing more on the open educational resources side, because I'm seeing a lot of my colleagues just being blind to everything that's going on in this space, and I need to go back and share with them what they need, not from my biased perspective of really focusing always on my open educational practices. So I'm trying to learn and connect with that community that I normally don't connect with.
Anybody else?
Like social structure is. Like in the past, I'm only gone since 2014, and as a librarian and bureaucrat, I'm kind of used to like having a bunch of presentations, blah blah blah. But there was always this close-knit community of people who had worked on open from the beginning, and that was neat. But they kind of came across as like the cool guys that nobody else could hang out with, and so it, and I kind of felt this kind of weird social structure every time I came in. This year, it just seems completely different. There's so many people here that I feel like socializing is like distributed a lot more than it was before. Like I'm just randomly getting together with a group of people I've never seen before and going out to eat, and it's like it just seems so different than, oh, you got to know this one guy because this one guy will get you into like blah blah blah. Like, oh yeah, it's always Tom Evans over there. But yeah, like it just seems like even though there's so many people here and it can be overwhelming, I feel like everybody's got a shot to like meet a ton of like good experts in the field and have good conversations about it.
You got called out, Tom. How about you?
I'm twice now, I guess, right? Wow. So, man, for me, I think. Shit, what was the question? Sorry.
I said, is coming to Open Ed recharge, or is it to learn?
You know, I think it's a little bit of both. I struggle a lot just with the whole faculty perception and trying to get them on board, but then also trying in my work as an instructional designer, just baking into that openness is just an expectation, it's just a process, it's what we do, and kind of building it in as this, we do, like almost like the Jedi hand wave, we've always done it this way. And Yeah.
Sorry, there's a picture behind you. I had to post.
But no. So I think I'm both. I need to recharge. I need to kind of get more encouraged, I guess, by hearing other people's stories and go back with some fresh ideas.
I feel like because it's the family reunion of Open Ed, it's a lot of preaching to the choir. Like, yeah, we like it. We're sold. Yeah, right. Yeah. But so like the effect is, yeah, baby, we recharge. That's great. But I don't need. Sure, more tips on how to do it. It's great, but I had lots of tips.
Well,
But
that's always been my feeling, right? Because a lot of my friends are there. All of my good friends are there at this point because I've been working with people for years. But I'm going to do more at the crazy policy convention I'm going to in March, where I'm walking into a government policy convention and I'm talking and people are like, you see their eyes start to expand and they start to get all like, their eyes roll back in their heads. And I meet people in the sidebar and they walk up to me and they go, that thing you're talking about, can we really do that?
Yeah.
I literally had, this is a true story, I literally had a deputy minister look at me and go, you realize we would get fired for doing that. But I need to know how close to fired we can get and get away with it. Right? And that's where I have to spend my time.
Yeah.
As much as I can. As much as I would love to be there, as much as I would have a fantastic time and I would have a terrible headache tomorrow morning, given some of the people who are there. I mean, Daniel Lynn's alone is enough to get me into trouble on any day.
Yes.
Right? But that's always my concern.
Right. I was at a similar idea. I was at a conference in the spring in Mohawk in Hamilton. It was like the curriculum developers group. Nobody had any open leanings. And David Porter, who's the CEO of eCamps Ontario, was before I was there, but he's a great speaker and he'll sell it to you in a minute. And that one talk made a bigger dent in getting the open word out there than this conference did, because there was all these people like,
That's the end of the round.
what is that?
That's the round end thing.
Oh, is that what that is?
Yeah.
I thought you had an ice cream machine come by. I thought it was the ice cream guy.
The ice cream guy now.
It's going to be really loud here for a second. Everyone's moving. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us here. We'll go to the next round. I like your point, Dave.
Are you going to stay at this table with us, Ken, or are you going to?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I want to kind of control make sure people are seeing you. Come on here. We're virtually connecting, so we're live on the internet. Dave Cormier is with us.
Live on the internet.
Mandy, I keep forgetting Mandy's last name.
Don't worry about it.
Mandy, I think you or Dave might be clicking on someone's picture because it's always focused on Dave, which is not a bad thing.
That's you.
It should focus on whoever's talking.
But isn't that what you do?
Yeah, I know. No, it should automatically switch.
Right, but that has to be you who pressed on the picture.
I think that's working now. No, it's fine. I do it all the time, and Alan Levine chews me out for it.
It is actually that it's picking up that there's something is picking up real sensitivity. So I'm turning my mic off a lot.
That's fine.
In order that it doesn't pick up.
I get all controlling, and I start trying to control which person's being seen, but I'll try to avoid that. I love the conversation, Dave, and that's what I was trying to say about. I want to bring back from here what's not about me for my colleagues. So that's really my kind of focus here, even though it's only my second session. So let me explain to the people here what's going on. You might want to move this way a little bit, crowd up a little bit. So we have Mandy Honeyman and Dave Cormier connecting with us. We're live over the internet. So we're going to try to do the same thing as you did in the other session, but allow them to participate in the conversation on both sides. So when you're speaking, I'll move the laptop so they can kind of get the feeling that they're speaking to where.
So what's going on right now there at the table is that they're just
You can hear, right?
everybody understands what is going on with us having to talk to a laptop instead of being able to read body language and stuff like that. So
Cool.
yes, And I'm Mandy Honeyman, and I'm here hosting on behalf of Virtually Connecting. So you know what? Have we started? Because then I'll just start.
Sure, let's say.
Yeah? Okay. Let's just go for it. Okay, so my next little prompt here. I'm Mandy Honeyman. I'm sitting in Washington State in my office. And yeah, so what does open ed mean to me? Yeah, I think I talked a little bit earlier about being a teacher and looking for resources, just any resources. I really didn't care, but I couldn't pay for them because I didn't have any money, and nor did my department. So I remember getting really interested, but at the same time really frustrated by repositories, which was the really cool thing at the time. So we are going back a few years now. And then when I came back to study them a little bit more closely, it really seemed to me as though some had managed to drift up to the top of the pile in terms of quality, particularly at the in the sector that I was looking at, which was K-12. So I think that I'm really interested in seeing the journey of open education in terms of some of the different aspects, not necessarily textbooks. Over to somebody else.
Somebody from here?
Yeah, over to you.
Kind of go around.
Thanks, Mandy.
Go ahead.
Hi, I'm Christy Foot-Dizdarovich. I work at ASU at Ed Plus at ASU. I'm a Curriculum Learning Experience Manager working with the Baobab, which is in partnership with MasterCard Foundation African Scholars Program. And the African Scholars Program gives scholarships to 30,000 scholars all over Africa. And we've created a network in partnership with them to connect all the scholars to each other, to mentors, to learning, to opportunities. I help create the content that goes onto the platform. And I'm here because we use open ed sources, and we are working to how do we take this further with our scholars who that once they go home don't have access. That's it.
Hi, I have to look at myself. This is Carmen Orthalfi. I'm from the University of Kansas, and I am a librarian. I moved into librarianship through government information. I am passionate about open partly because of that government information background. If you don't realize it, government information, U.S. government information is, for the most part, not protected by copyright, which means you should be incorporated into your OERs. And the federal government also produces open educational resources. They just didn't call it that because that's a new term, but there's lots of it already out there. At the University of Kansas, I helped encourage our university to join the Open Textbook Network. So we're part of the Open Textbook movement, but I'm working with some librarians and a faculty person in journalism to work on an open media literacy textbook that's for journalism, information literacy textbook for journalist students, undergraduate, and that's probably enough, so we can go on.
There's no rules.
There are no rules because we're virtually connecting. Oh, I'm so excited. I couldn't commit to anything. I'm so excited. So hi everyone. My name is Allison Andreas. I'm the director of Teaching and Learning West. And so I work with a lot of institutions talking about open education, but before I got into all this, open education changed my life, and I know that sounds a little heavy-handed, but it really did. I was suffering from faculty burnout. I was really struggling. I felt isolated and weird, and nobody was really into what I was doing. I didn't know that there was a thing called open education, and then when I learned that it's a thing, I also found a lovely network. So that's it. Oh, we got 5, and there was okay, we got the magical sound of Rolin in the background there. Sorry. And this is also my first open education conference, and so I am excited to go around and tell people that they should bring their best adjunct, and if they can't bring their best adjunct, then they should virtually connect. So that's what we're doing, and I'm really excited to be here. So thanks so much. I think this is the best idea for professional development that is happening, and so more people need to know about it. And I'm going to turn the laptop past the mic. So to speak. Yeah, you see me?
Hi, I'm Heather Angel.
Heather, can I just stop you for 1 second? One second. Can I just, to help us know what's going on, so we can tweet about it later, could I just ask you also to put your names in the chat? So I don't know if Ken's there, but can you also just make, so we have a record of everybody's names, because sometimes it's a little difficult to hear you. Okay, I'll shut up now and let you carry on, Heather.
Thanks for the awesome idea. I'll get everyone to do that here as soon as we're done.
So I don't know how to do it.
Take away.
So I'm typing and talking. My name is Heather Angel, and I'll type later.
I'll get the name.
Okay. I work for Lumen Learning, and I am in charge of the development and curation of the English and communication courses. So I spend a lot of time hunting and gathering and collaborating with faculty to work on courses. And this is my first open ed, and I'm really enjoying meeting people who are either using our courses or are teaching comp, or I feel like I'm just getting educated about what's available and what people are doing in the community. So it's awesome.
Sure. Yeah. Hi, I'm Christian Palmer. I teach anthropology at Winter Community College. And I'm excited about open ed because textbooks are crazy expensive. And the other thing is, in Hawaii, I end up tailoring a lot of stuff to our local environment, because Hawaii is quite a bit different than everywhere else in the United States. So a lot of the textbooks, the examples and things like that just don't make sense and aren't relevant. So in order to have relevance, it's nice to kind of develop. So both of my classes, I develop all my own stuff and just put it together. So I'm getting a lot of ideas on how to do that better. So.
And thank you for the wonderful idea there, Mandy. I've got a book going around to document who was here. It'll be easier to do dual purpose. So hi, I'm Ken Bauer. I'm a faculty member at Tecnológico de Monterrey, a large private university in Mexico, computing science. And for me, open's really important because I like to model my practices of showing how I do my work. Bridging off what Mandy said the last round, which we did a round before the round because we're weird. I was also a software engineer. I was heavily involved in the open source community in terms of evangelism of the use of open source for my students. And I think it's really important to model the practices that I think my students need to know that is important, that not all the answers are in these certain texts or tombs, that I don't have all the answers. I need to help them help me find the answers together in whatever domain that they're working on, in my domain or whether it's someone else's. So I really like to model that practice. And doing what we're doing right now is virtually connecting, as my students have in the past actually liked the tweets that we're sending out of the fact that, oh, we're connecting with Mandy and Dave and some other people online and talking about what we do as educators. And I think it's important for them to see that practice as well as my kids. So that's why open's really important to me. I think we're doing well on time. I won't have to put my name down. I'm going to go back. There's probably more.
Well, we haven't had, we've had Mandy, but we haven't had Dave.
So I am the two Daves on both sides because I have one computer that will take my audio and the other computer that I'm getting sound from. I'm a scientist. So, open education is what my children know as the thing I fight about on the internet. I've been at this for a longish time now, and my career cycles through all kinds of weird paths inside of open. Right now, I work for the government of Prince Edward Island. And at the government of Prince Edward Island, I'm responsible for the ed tech strategy for the province. And I'm trying to bring them from, these are my precious things and I keep them, to, I'm going to have a wonderful collaborative practice and share with everyone. And there's a ways between those two things. And I find that reconnecting to this community and getting back to this place reminds me that I'm not alone in the journey that I'm trying to go through, and there's lots of people who are trying to do the same kind of thing. And it also keeps me from imagining that it's still 2008 and that there aren't resources together and it's just crazy people on the internet talking about open things. But there are companies like Lumen, and there are people who are getting stuff done that's changing the landscape right now. So there's a lot of interesting stuff going on. So it's really nice to be able to just check in like this. I really appreciate you guys being around.
Cool. Yeah, I'm so excited, and I think that we're now having to move to another table, sadly. But I want to just say, like, thank you for the fight, and it keeps up. And I say that all the time, that it's 2008 somewhere all the time, and there's nothing wrong with that. And they're actually really fun people. And then 5 years from now, they're hopefully going to be fighting with you. And
that's right.
Yeah. So thank you so much for connecting. I'm going to move on. Love it.
See you later.
Thanks, everybody. Thank you. Although, you know something about speed dating, one of the things about speed dating is that you get to have a follow-up date with people. And I'm wondering whether the organizers of this particular session have taken that into consideration, that some of us might like to have a follow-up conversation or a follow-up date. Oh, sorry, that's why I really wanted to have people's names, because there was someone there that I really wanted to talk to more. She's gone. She's just disappeared. Okay, hello. Hi, are we into our next session already?
Yep.
Hi, everybody.
Why don't we start?
Hi, I'm Shauna Brendel from Kingsborough Community College in the City University of New York. I'm a faculty OER liaison, which is a title I gave myself. And I'm really interested in the equity and access elements, but also just in better teaching and open pedagogy. And I'm super into the virtually connecting things. So it's nice to meet you.
Go ahead, Nate.
So I'm Nate Angel. I work at Hypothesis, the nonprofit for open annotation technologies and practices. I'm at my fifth Open Ed or something like that. And I am mostly excited about the possibility of extending virtual connection-like activity through annotation. So we're trying to promote documents that relate to what's happening here for social annotation out across the community. It's a little bit wider.
Hi, I'm Valerie Mott. I work with Lumen Learning. I work with natural sciences. So I mostly work with faculty, connecting them with the OER that they're looking for and helping them find the best and helping them develop new things. So I'm just here to see what all great work has been done and learn more. This is my first Open Ed, so it's been a really great experience so far.
My turn again. This is the fun part, right? Hi, Dave. Hi, Mandy. Good to see you. I'm hoping my battery. I'm hoping my battery lasts on my speaker I brought to help them hear you.
Can you tell us why everybody from Lumen Learning sits in the same chair? Is that a Lumen Learning chair? Because that's the third person in a row.
I wrote it at the back.
Is it in the back of the chair? Because it's a little out of control over there. How many of them are there?
It's really awkward.
Can't David do his own work?
All the PEI people are sitting in that chair.
I mean, David's lazy, but this is ridiculous. You can tell him I said that. Please tell him I said that.
I'll be passing the message to him.
I appreciate that.
So I met Shauna last night, actually, who's helping us out virtually connecting, and it's her first time here. But we haven't met. You're Valerie? Valerie, good, I got that. So I'm Ken Bauer. I'm a professor of computer science down in Mexico at the Tecnológico de Monterrey, originally Canadian. But I've been there about 20 years. Open's really important to me because I think it's important to model to my students what I do, how I do it, what I do wrong, what I do right, not just always showing them polished presentations of the fact that the previous virtually connecting session I totally failed and the microphone didn't work, but it's all live on the internet so people can see it later, so it's all right. And Alan will bug me about it. And Dave will now too. For me, I think it's important for us as educators to see ourselves as being vulnerable, that we don't have all the answers, and the students really need to see that we don't have the answers and they don't have the answers, and that's okay, and we can have discussions. And it doesn't have to just be, say, in the humanities. A lot of people have said that what I do is weird because I'm in computer science or the sciences period, that I'm asking my students to go deeper on how what they're studying affects deeper relations in humanity. Part of what I had a session last year with a digital pedagogy or a digital identity session where Dave participated and some other people participated in a cool session. We had 100 students investigating how them sharing openly on the internet, how that's a good thing for them and a good thing for society. And then we also talked about what, you know, risks are involved in doing that as well. That's why open's important to me. So we have a small table so we can just kind of keep having the conversation.
I wouldn't want to end up in the Lumen chair, though.
Yeah, don't sit in the Lumen chair.
I used to sit.
So Mandy went first the last 2 times. I'll go first this time. How's that? Okay, so my name's Dave Cormier. I work for the government of Prince Edward Island now. And I've been involved in open education for a ridiculously long time. And open is important for me. I'm trying to say something different every time just to make sure Mandy doesn't get bored. It's important for me because I want my classrooms to reflect the challenges that my kids are going to have when they get out in the world. And I used to be in higher ed. I'm in K-12 now. And when I look at the students that I saw coming into higher ed, they had lacked the ability to make decisions about what they're going to take, what they're interested in, how they're going to do some kind of creative piece, because our education system is closed. And when I say open, I mean it as opposed to that. Now, I don't care if it's open to access materials, open to allow people into the classroom, or open for people to make decisions. It's that openness quality to me that makes the classroom a useful place. It makes it a place where we're preparing citizens to help pay for my retirement.
I guess you're up, Mandy. 10 left.
Yeah, that's so through me. Helping to pay for retirement, that'd be nice, wouldn't it? Yeah, that'd be lovely. No, that's kind of not where I'm coming from at all. But I think just going back to the open source, beginning of all of this journey for me was that I didn't mention about collaboration, and I don't think we've somehow, I don't know if that's come up already, but I think that the idea of collaboration is so incredibly important to being able to do this in the open, whether it's open scholarship and being able to distribute a paper and asking anybody to contribute their thoughts and comments on it, or their knowledge or information ideas, or to be able to, just any kind of collaboration will make, I think, something will make it better, will make the product better. And so if we're trying to get if we've got high quality as being our goal, then I see something happening in the background, so I could shut up. And Nate, I'm really looking forward to having a cup of coffee with you in Portland soon. Oh, is something happening in the room there that we need to be aware of?
Rolin just walked by. It wasn't important.
Oh, okay. So I did. One of the things that I did notice was someone tweeted out that it was their first open ed conference, and now it's great seeing here lots of other people also experiencing their first open ed conference. I hope you all get together in order to support each other going forward.
It's crazy.
Crazy good.
Crazy good, so good. But my head is literally exploding.
2 minutes. Don't pay attention to the pumpkin. Tell me about your self-naming. Tell me about how you decided to call yourself that and the reaction that you got from the people around you.
So we are in a position where the state of New York actually, I was doing this on campus with no funding and was sort of just like, hey, I had gotten that, and some librarians had a little bit of funding that they shared with me. And then all of a sudden, New York State came through with $4 million. So then we got actual funding, and the librarian was already a librarian, so now she's our OER librarian. The Center for E-Learning person is already the head of the Center for E-Learning person, and then there's Shauna. So Shauna is not a great like email. It's already in my email signature. So I talk to faculty, and liaison sounds better than like talky person.
I think S.H. is like, you just get that out there. You get Shauna out there, you'd be good. Just that as your business.
I want to go with a simple like Prince, like just yeah.
Just an S, like a stylized S. Right?
Super Shauna.
Yes.
Nate, how are things going?
Things are
How
going
is the
well.
advocacy
I'm
going?
no longer sitting in the Lumen chair.
Yeah.
Hypothesis is an interesting.
David's right there. I'm gonna get him.
It's an interesting experiment because it crosses so many boundaries. Annotation for education and teaching and learning, and for research and scholarship, for publishing, and also for fact checking and journalism, investigative journalism. So it's a much broader view than I was having before. It's really interesting.
You got the sales pitch down, Nate. You got it. You got all the pieces together.
Oh, Dave, you're so mean. So I saw the presentation at DML 2 weeks ago, and it was really interesting. So, and now they've all gone up. Oh,
please bring it up to me up here.
Hi, Ken.
Hi, Ken. Andy on the table up front. Feel free to come by and get
a Lumen person over here. Someone from Lumen over here.
And I am not lying.
David Wiley.
so just in case
I'll explain that after all this.
we were told to move, I think.
Here, please.
Yeah.
Come sit here. Join us for Virtually Connected. We have Mandy here and we have Steve here. Thank you for coming.
Three-dimensional people. It's so nice.
I'm moving the chair. Thank you so much for helping us.
None of the real bad kids have come over. That's good.
I think we found someone for the Lumen chair, because we need someone for the Lumen chair to keep it going.
Hi, Dave.
Hi, Dave.
There, he's in the Lumen chair. How you doing, buddy?
Sit in the Lumen chair. Sit down, David.
David, what does open mean to you? Hi, guys.
Maybe we can like slide it back. What are we doing? Maybe?
Daniel's not here.
Am I still allowed to officially make fun of David Wiley while he's here? Because I've done it the last 3 rounds.
Only if
because there was a Lumen person here each time.
It's way better if you make fun of me now that I'm here.
Okay. I just want to make sure it was okay.
Okay, so why does the table start? Can the table start?
You all know how this works?
Hello, I'm Christy Farrell at Tacoma Community College as the Open Education Resources Coordinator. I'm very excited to be at Open Ed to learn from others on best practices and share, because we love to share. Obstacles or politics as a challenge in time, and really want to have more conversations away from money on the student engagement and success, because it's just so much more than about the money. That's just like a piece of grain of sand on the beach compared to the other benefits.
I'm Kate Williamson. I am a librarian at American River College, community college in Northern California. I am currently, I keep calling it the OER champion at my campus. Myself and one other colleague have kind of been learning about it for the past 10 months and trying to get on roads to faculty adopting OER. So that's, I guess, my focus for my time here is kind of strategies for bringing in faculty on campus. I think I'll move the.
So we shift over to.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who are you?
I'm David. Hi, everyone. I'm David Wiley. I'm the founder and steward of the conference. I also work at Lumen Learning and still part-time faculty at BYU. I'm interested in everything that has to do with open and education, from research to pedagogy to licenses to instructional design. I'm a glutton and I can't get enough of any of it. And what else are we saying? What obstacles in my path?
Do you have a handler now who tells you what to say?
Yes.
Is that what you're looking for? Where's my handler? What am I allowed to say?
I don't even know what I'm supposed to say.
How corporate have you gotten?
There's a whiteboard right here with a list of questions we're supposed to be answering during our introduction.
I understand.
I'm pretty sure that's 60 seconds. We're just going to move on. Hello, everyone. My name is Sorel Oberlander. I'm the Dean of the Library at Humboldt State University, and I have a long record of supporting faculty in creating open textbooks. And I encourage them to incorporate students in the process to make their learning so much more impactful, because if we open up the classrooms, we're really opening up, transforming the world. And that's what higher ed has to be about, and I strongly advocate for that.
I'm Brina Roberts, and Dave, your children owe me an Acadian song, so we'll do that, yeah. I'm from Calgary, Alberta, and I believe that K-12 is responsible for changing the world, actually, through open educational practice, which I'm focusing my research on right now. And I'm also a doctorate student. And some of the obstacles in my way are not talking about OER and instead talking about how learning, just in general, how we learn and what are the not best practices, but how open can contribute to learning. Yeah.
All right. Hello, I'm Chris Hauser from Pima Community College. I'm an instructional designer. Basically, for me, the big thing is getting more information about OERs as we are part of the Achieving the Dream grant in Tucson, we're doing a degree. It's an AA for transfer, and getting a lot of our gen eds in there, and it's been good. We've gotten a lot of faculty on board. Interestingly enough, what you brought up is it's more than about the money. We're working on that engagement piece right now, aside from OER. So right now the OER component really is about the money for us, because we are in a very poor city. Tucson is, I think, ranked number 5 as the poorest city in the United States. So our students truly cannot afford textbooks. It's bad. So yeah.
We're going to get back to Ken again. Our circles always end with Ken.
Hi, Dave. Good to see you again. So for the benefit of the people at the table, I'm Ken Bauer. I'm a faculty member of computing science in Mexico at the Tecnológico de Monterrey, which is a large private institution. I'm originally from Canada. Yay, Canada. Why am I here? To follow the rules, because Dave said we have to follow the rules. What excites me is meeting a lot of new people. What's actually, I'm really loving this session because I'm meeting a lot of people that I've met before on Twitter or other forms of communication that I might not know yet. And obstacles in my path, following the rules. The obstacles in my path really are how to not get into a comfort zone of the way I'm doing my work with my students. I tend to spin things up new every year. Why am I here? Alan Levine is kind of responsible, and Brian Lamb are responsible for me being here, because I started stalking them and their work at Thompson Rivers University about 3 or 4 years ago, and the work they did there. I started following their stuff and fell into this community. I was very involved in the open source community because I'm a software engineer. But I never found the open education community, and I never actually participated in the education conferences until about 3 years ago. And I'm finding a lot of parallels to my past in that area, and I wrote about it for David's Open Ed MOOC with George Siemens as well, and that's what I wrote about on my post last week, about the parallels that I found between my past in software engineering and my present and future. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm trying to spin things up a bit, so I'm not boring you. And you can watch the recorded ones to watch us introducing ourselves various times.
So I don't mind going again first because I've got a new one. I've got a new one for the tape because guys, we're trying to mix it up so that we aren't saying the same thing over and over again. So I'm Mandy Honeyman and I'm in Washington State and I've been a builder for the last 2 years and now I'm coming back to education. I was remembering that I started understanding what open meant when I first attended the Open University in 1989. I did a level 1 course and it was about being able that open access to education. So the Open University in the UK was incredibly important to me and I was able to finish off my degree there and then do a master's as well as teach there and do research. So that's another part that open is really important to me. Okay, over to you, Dave.
So she's already given me that Dave at this point. We've only been talking for like 40 minutes. I'm already getting it. So my name's Dave Cormier. I work for the government of Prince Edward Island on a fantasy sandbar out here in the Atlantic Ocean. And my interest in open has evolved over time. I learned from such older luminaries as Dave Wiley when I first started out, and have gone on to be involved in a lot of fun conversations over the years. But now I work at the government and I'm responsible for the ed tech strategy for the province. And I'm trying to bring both the open resource piece, because we're paying terrible amounts of money for ridiculous books, but also have people understand that the practice that goes along with that is actually a lot more important. And also, if you think of OER in just the right way, you never do it, because it's really just open practice. If we can get to the point where if I've got 200 teachers teaching grade 5 math, I don't need a textbook. And that's where I'm trying to get us to, step by step. That open practice, sharing who I am, sharing what I care about, sharing what my problems are, sharing between the departments, just trying to bring that ethos of open to the province. So that's what I'm up to now. And I broke the rules and didn't follow the questions. Sorry.
Wow, that was perfect. To be fair, that's because we don't know what the questions are. So
we can't see the questions.
To be fair.
Yeah.
That's
we can.
I've got to go.
Dave, thank you very much for popping in. That's fantastic.
Goodbye, guys.
Bye.
I have to go play with my children.
Yeah, you're right.
Goodbye.
Bye. Thank you.
See you later.
Thank you, Dave. Thank you so much.
So great. Yours is like all digital.
I'm beginning to think that this may have finished.
Hey, Mandy.
Hi, have we finished?
It's going well. Do you want to drop out? Do you need to drop out?
No, is the table thing still going on? Are we still going around more tables?
Yeah, there's going to do one more table.
Well, I think we should stick it out to the bitter end. Not that I think I can come up with another way that open end is meaningful to me.
I'm trying to.
I'll work on it. I'm going to work on it really hard.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for helping us.
Don't forget, we have the virtually connecting table.
Thank you, David. You're coming back.
Part of the process. And that table looks like it could use a few people to come sit down.
Hi, we're virtually connecting.
Gentlemen, wait. And please. All right. All right. Starting our final session now.
What is it? We had to get done earlier. You can watch what you said 4 times on recording. And Mandy's still with us?
Yeah, I'm still with you, and I'm just going to talk to myself while you all get yourself set so that there's something happening kind of on audio as well as on visual. So here I am talking to myself, but you'll butt in a minute, won't you?
My speakers lasted this long, so we're good. So what we're going to do is the same thing, but I'm going to move the computer so that they can see who's talking. And go ahead and do your shot. You all know how this works now, so
Yes,
You're just
although I
talking to
still
a
need
virtual
help
person.
with the, okay.
And by the way, this is
I think they're
Recorded.
talking about timing.
Okay, great.
I should talk to you.
Yes, that's always good for consent.
Yeah.
Hi, my name is Monica Poole. I am the chair of History and Social Sciences Department at Bunker Hill Community College in Boston, Massachusetts. I am the faculty lead on our OER grant through Achieving the Dream, which is helping us to build an entirely OER supported degree for which students have no textbook costs. And this is a degree in liberal arts. I'm interested in OER from a lot of different perspectives. One is the intersections between OER and equity and social justice. Another is the way that OER contributes to and or challenges our structures of knowledge, because my academic discipline is philosophy and I work on epistemology, the study of knowledge and truth. I'm getting a call, which is getting in the way of my ability to understand what my timing is. But in any event, the third thing that I'm interested in is copyleft and challenging copyright. And finally, I'm interested in global connections for OER, particularly partnerships with places in the formerly colonized world. I'm working on a partnership with Université Cheikh Anta Diop in Senegal. Okay, that is over 1 minute, sorry.
There's no rules in this.
No rules.
Oh, I like it. No rules.
No, it is no rules.
Yeah. So what is it we're doing? Just that? Okay. Hi, I'm Mark Wilson. I'm a student. I'm a retired scientific glassblower who went back to community college in California, which was the worst experience of my life. But I survived that, barely. I have a lot less stuff now. So, you know, it's a Zen thing, you know. I've gone forth, as it were. Now that I've completed my associates, and I did a lot of work in student government and tried to improve the community college, some of which got through, but a lot didn't. But now I'm completing my bachelor's degree through Metropolitan State University in St. Paul, Minnesota, which is an original university without walls that specializes in prior learning assessment. So I should be able to get credit for my lifetime of experience, 20 years of which was in Silicon Valley. So I'm looking forward to documenting some of that and the bubble bursting in 2008. There's a lot of stories that need to be documented, not just mine. But my goal is to then go to the Western Institute for Social Research in Berkeley, another university without walls, which specializes in social justice. So I'll be doing my master's degrees there. I'm interested in open education resources as they can be applied to community. So at my community college in Oakland, with the community groups that we do work with, and then on, through Alameda County, there are a lot of people that will never see the inside of a classroom. Some didn't finish high school, but whatever, but they're working with their community or in their groups, and I see this as an opportunity to help them gain access to their resources. I forgot to say that a bachelor completion, which is online, I'm doing that as an open education project and a digital humanities project. So as I do my coursework, I'm blogging about it, tweeting about it, collecting the resources, and I'll see how that goes and what I can learn and then take to community.
Thanks, Mark.
Hi, Mandy. I'm Kathy Labradorf from the University of Connecticut, which is way off on the East Coast, and I am a librarian. My fields are, I'm in charge of the OER initiative on our campus, as well as women's studies, information literacy, and fair use. So those are my, what I take care of at the university. And we began about 2 years ago, 2015, and actually the students at UConn actually started the activism. We have a real grassroots OER growth on our campus. So the students brought OER forward to faculty, to the administrators, and then they came to us at the library, and we formed a task force and went forth on the students' mission. So I've been doing that for a couple years, and now what I'm trying to do is think of be able to tell faculty and have them understand, not just faculty but administrators, the bigger picture of OER, not just how much money we're saving, but why OER is important, and have it make a change into the future as these students go forward and faculty become more generous with their sharing of their work. Thank you.
Yeah. Mandy's gonna listen to me like for the 5th time, I think. Hi, Mandy. Good to see you.
Hi, Ken.
I love this because I don't think we've hanged out a lot on virtually connecting much, so we get to know each other really deeper. So for the benefit of the new people, and I've talked to Mark before as well. I'm Ken Bauer. I'm a computing science professor at Tec de Monterrey, which is a large private university in Mexico. 31 campuses, 100,000 students or so. Originally from Canada, but I've been there about 20 years. And why is open so important to me? It's really, I'm a software engineer by background, so open source is important to me. And not just free as in gratis or free beer, but free as in libre and the liberty of how our sharing and sharing in an open way allows other people to reuse what we're putting out there, which is my software engineering background kicking in. I think it's also important, I mentioned this just on the second to last one, I think, that it's really important for us to expose our vulnerabilities, that we don't know everything, that we can make mistakes. It's important, like I make videos for my students about how to write software and stuff, but I leave all the mistakes in there because I don't want them to go, oh, you never make mistakes while you're writing Python code or whatever I'm showing them. To show that it's okay to have a process that encourages failure. One of the activities I do in the first week of class is I get my students to stand on the chairs, although our chairs have wheels now, so I'm not allowed to do that. But to stand on the chairs, a la Robin Williams, but to scream out, it's okay to fail. And I say, no, I want you to scream and freak out the teachers in the other room that it's really important in my classrooms to have that kind of environment. I do other weird stuff like abolishing grading in my classroom, inspired by Joe Bauer's work. Was a teacher who passed away in Alberta a year and a half ago. And I'm here at this conference because I started following a community of people, including people like Dave Cormier, who was connected here, Alan Levine, Brian Lamb, and Jim Groom, and Audrey Waters. I've got my Hack Education shirt on today, so I point that out as well. Hi, Audrey. And Ken Lane, who will be with us tomorrow for a session for Virtually Connecting. I really follow all these people, and I think it's important to share what I do and let other people see what I do on the open internet. So that's about me. Did we hear from Andy?
Yeah. Hello, everybody. It was really nice to hear from a student. Hi, I've been a student. We've all been students way before we all became educators or involved in this, and I kept on being a student for a long time. But I wanted just to finish off my little. This is the 6th time I've done it on camera, so it's really a little tricky. I'm going to talk about virtually connecting because that is an open. I think that's open. I think that anybody can say, I want to help, I want to be part of it. It's about opening up conferences so that it's not about the elite who can afford to go to them, making it impossible to meet the really fascinating and fabulous people who go to them. So that's the best I could do with coming up with a new element for open. If you guys haven't met virtually connecting before, then that's a little bit about it. Really, it's open for anyone to join in, not just watch. You can just fill out a form and say that you want to join in one of these sessions. Okay.
Where
are you? All I'm going to say.
Where are you located? I know you're Washington State.
So yes, I'm in Washington State. It's raining.
So I'll let you wrap up, Mandy, since there's no post-conversation. It's just yourself. Thank you so much for doing this. It's been wonderful, I think. And I'm happy with
Actually, it's been terrific. I think it really has been pretty amazing. I will have a quick chat with you as soon as I stop the broadcast. So I'm going to stop now. Thanks to everybody who took part. We're going to try and get everybody's names so that we can give yeah, I have an idea. So anyway, thank you very much, everybody. See you later. Bye-bye.